Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Krishna.
Ma'am, how are you?
Good, good. What about
Okay.
you?
Ma'am, I'm
Hmm.
not good. I feel my migraine pain. Oh.
Okay, okay. Okay, so you can take rest. No worry.
Yeah, ma'am, please consider my attendance.
Sorry, Krishna, but I can't do this. Otherwise, uh, due to this, I know the reason is genuine, but don't worry. You can take rest, but I cannot give you the attendance in this case because otherwise, other student will ask for next time that I am feeling this, I can't and give me the attendance, right?
Yeah,
If you
ma'am.
have
Ma'am.
any doubt in today's work, I will let you know, or I will one more time I'll repeat for you. No worry.
Okay, ma'am. Let me tell
Hmm.
you, ma'am. There are many
Hmm.
students. I'm not taking their name. They just open their laptop and going outside.
See, here we are for the studies, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, so don't consider that cases, and I don't want name also, right?
Yeah,
Because,
yeah. But, ma'am,
hmm,
I'm not working like that. I'm just taking your permission.
I know
Otherwise,
very well that yes, yes, I know very well that how many of you study well, and how many of you are asking me the question who are not clear with the concept, who are clear with the concept. I know very well. Some of the students, due to some issue, they are not performing the. You can say they cannot perform the practicals also due to some issue, right? But if they will ask, or if as like you that in the next session if you want to repeat the things one more time, I can repeat for you in the lab strategy, right? That
okay, okay.
last 5 to 10 minutes I can repeat, and I can do these things for uh, any of the students, right? That if you can't understand, then you can tell me and I will repeat one more time.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, ma'am.
Krishna.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
you
Thank
can
you.
take rest.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. Okay, so what we have discussed in the last session, I guess till question number 17 we have already discussed. Yes? Okay. So that question is in your self study as I have given you. For that question, we have two approaches, one that is constructor and another that is static static variable and static function concept, right? So static variable, that means you can say the functions, right? Which are referring only static variables, right? That can also count the object, but it may be possible that somehow someone wants to increment the that static variables value. So in that case, your result is not perfectly showing the correct output, right? So we have one more option, that using constructor or using, sorry, before constructor we can implement the same question. That is, we can calculate that how many objects are created for the particular class. Say for example, in the class we are putting one uh, default constructor, and in that default constructor I am writing integer a. Okay, and every time my a is incrementing with 1. Okay, and I'm just printing the count of a in the same function, right? So what it will do, so sorry, what is the concept behind your default constructor? So you can say that in default constructor, when my object is create, the default constructor invoke itself. Okay, and it will increment your variables value with 1. So those many object, that time my a variable is incremented with 1 because it is written into the default constructor, right? So that's why it is working. Okay, now the next question, that is question number 18. This is my question. Question number 18. So first, define a class complex having data members as real and image, and member functions as add comp and show comp. Okay, that and showing the end person is showing the end. Okay, write a C++ program to get information of two complex numbers and add these two complex numbers and display this result using the overloaded constructor concept. Okay, so just try to think on this question, and then let me know that what we are going to perform in this question, and then I will perform that question over here in the. Okay, first try to understand this question. Okay, so this kind of concept with us. Okay, those who can understand this question thoroughly, just inform me and discuss it with me. Yes, anyone wants to say something? Yes, Shekhar, you want to say something? Yes, you can say.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and real part will add separately. Yes, perfect. So you can implement likewise that one default constructor. In that we have two functions and one, you can say, parameterized constructor to pass the values. Okay, or whatever the things you want to implement, but you have to use the overloaded constructor concept. Okay, that means overloaded constructor, that means in this case you have to, or you can say you must have to implement the two constructors. Okay, okay, other than this everything is perfect. Ma'am, question once again. Okay, two times, no worry. So Harris will going to perform two times. Yes. Okay, so here, okay, see, this question we have already discussed so many times in the lecture session. Okay, in our lecture, we have already discussed this many things. Okay, so what you have to do, first, just try to implement by yourself. I will not give you the entire code, but I am just giving you the sample code. Sample code, that means whatever the things you have to implement, I am just giving you the skeleton of code. Main thing I will give you, that first class name is complex. Second, we have float, real, img. Okay, we have two variables. First, overloaded constructor, that means one. I have default constructor. Sorry, I must have to implement another concept known as parameterized constructor. Then and only then I can say that this is overloaded constructor concept. Okay, otherwise I cannot say float and float B. Okay, inside what you have to do, you need to decide. Okay, we have two functions with us. First one, add comp. The work of this function is add two real numbers and imaginary numbers. Okay, this is the work. Now another, that is my show comp function. The work of this function is to print the, my class is completed over here, and I have integer b. Okay, you need to decide the return type. Over here, I am suggesting you to use return type as a complex, and write something like this. Why? Because this object one can refer the real one and image one, and this object two real number two and image number two, imaginary part number two. Okay, so for that I have to take r1, r2, i1, i2. Right, see out. I am just taking that two numbers from the user. Okay, see out, enter real one. Okay, till this I am giving you the things. Now other things you need to decide. Yes. One more thing I am just giving you. whatever the objects you want to do. I guess 2 is enough. Something like right. So this is settings. Okay, now you have to implement the code. Okay. Okay. So here is the code. Okay. It can this is the task. Yes. Now just implement the code. Okay. Okay, those who have already complete the question, they just write done over here. Or if you are facing any error in the code, just inform me. Okay, if you are facing any error in the code, just inform me. Or if you don't know how to implement, then just inform me. I will help you. Yes, we have already taken two objects. I have two objects now, object 1 and object 2. Right, so here what you have to do, sorry, create new object. Yes, something like object, sorry, new object dot real is equals to obj1 dot real plus obj2 dot real. Okay, same likewise you have to implement for imaginary portion. Okay, done, Arfat. And this new object value you have to return. Here in the show function, you can print the value of real and imaginary portion. We have to take another one. That means you want to take one more object. No, no, no. Whatever the values are present over here, right inside this your new object. Okay, that object you can pass as an argument. Something like C3 is equals to Exactly. Yes, something like this. Exactly. If you want to do something like this, otherwise if you are directly calling this function like void show, okay, so this void show will also work, but you have to call it with c3 dot show umt. Okay, so you have option whatever the things you want to do, and inside you can just print the value of real and imaginary portion, right? So whatever the values we are storing over here in the dot real and dot image is directly reflected over here, right? So that value if you want to print using c3, right, so it will going to print the actual value. Okay, this is also an option. You can, if you want, first as you have mentioned in the chat, you can also do the same likewise, and this function is also work. Okay, anyone completed the question? Okay, no worry, take your time. Okay, good. Okay, if you have any error in the code, inform me. I will help you to come out or to resolve that error. Okay, Matthews, if you want to share, you can share your screen. Okay, just share your screen. Okay, other student can complete the code. Yes, it is visible. Hmm. Yes, just waiting. Okay, yes, here you are missing in the 18 number line. Right, after that, what is the return type of your add complex function?
Number.
Yes, 50 number line, right? What is the return type of your add complex function?
Uh,
Hmm. Return type of that function.
it's
Complex, right?
complex,
So
right?
that means you have to return entire
Okay.
object.
Okay.
Hmm. Yes. Now try to run the code.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
correct.
You.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So till that time, just complete your code. Okay, if you are if you don't know what to write and what is the, you can say, the working of this function, and then please inform me. I will help you to write down the code. But we have already discussed this code 2 to 3 times in the class. Okay, that's why I'm giving you this code to complete to yours, complete it by yourself. Yes, Arafat. Errors. Okay, no worry. You can share your screen.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, it is. Okay. Um, Within this context in this it is private. Okay. Go to your class. Okay. Where did you mention public portion? Without public, can you use your add complex function outside of the class? No, you cannot use, right? So that's why your everything, whatever the things you have mentioned in the class, they all are known as a private, right? Because you are not mentioning any access specifier as public. Okay, scroll up, scroll up. Okay, yes. Other than your two of variables, you have to mention everything into the public section, right? Your constructor should be in the public section, so write down over here public. This is your access specifier. Okay, now the everything after your public portion. Add was not declared in this scope. Okay, your function name is different than your mentioned add comp.
Okay.
Yes, one thing you forgot to. Okay, okay. Add comp was not declared in this scope. Okay, scroll up. Yes, over here in the 27 number line, mention one return type as void. Yes, there. Okay, now just wait. Add comp. Okay, scroll down. Where your class is completed.
Yeah, yes, completed here.
Before integer main. Okay, semicolon is there. Add complex was not declared in this scope. Maybe there is some spell mistake. 46 number line. Check your 46 number line. Sorry, 48 number. C3 equals to add comp 7 commas. Oh, yes. Uh, add comp is your function.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You have to use one object. Without object, how can you call your function? Don't mix up your operator overloading concept and function calling concept. This is function call, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
So you have to call this function with some object. Object one dot add comp, and then you can pass two object, and return thing you have copied it into the one another object. So your C object coming over here into the C3, right? So you have to write, go to your 47 number line.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, comma C4. Okay, now come over here in 48 number line. C4 dot add comp. C4 dot. Okay, now try to run. Yes, perfect. Here is the same mistake. Hmm.
So should I write basic again?
Uh, don't why you are printing the C1, C2, and C3 value over there?
Two
You
seconds.
want to print the entire values of R1, R2, I1, I2.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you can write C4 dot.
For each and everyone?
Here C4 dot, and here yes, C4 dot. Maybe there is some mistake. One more. Okay, run. Perfect. Yes, now I think you can understand what I mean to say. Your add complex function can pass
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
arguments.
Two argument, it's
Here you
complex.
have mentioned only one. Okay, that's why. So what you want to do, you just want to print the values of, you can say, the final value, real and imaginary part, right, which is stored into this C3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so now scroll up. Where is your show function? Hmm. Yes, over here in the show function, what you have written, complex object 3. Okay, so where you call your show complex function in the main, go to your integer main. Is there any show complex function calling procedure? No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so 49 to 51, you can cut that lines.
Yet to hear.
No, 48 number line as it is.
Okay. Which one?
Huh.
Yet to hear.
Yes. Okay, you can cut this. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to call show complex function. Okay, but
Using what?
using which object? Using C3 object. Why? Because now my C3 is carrying the addition of R1 and R2, I1 and I2. Exactly, Matthews. C3 dot show comp underscore comp. Okay, and pass one object.
Which one? C4?
C3. Okay. Now semicolon. Using C4 also you can. Okay. Now build.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. Right.
Correct.
Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, I forgot the another thing. Why you are using the default constructor here?
If you are not using default constructor here in the question, they were mentioned that you have to implement a constructor overloading concept. Just
Okay.
scroll
Implement.
right. Just scroll right. Scroll right in the question. Second number line. Second number
Okay.
line. Yes, exactly. The result using overloaded constructor, right? So we have to implement overloaded constructor concept. Okay. So once we need to use parameterized constructor and one default constructor, right? If you will remove that default constructor and try to run the code, put that lines into the comment section and see the result. What they
Which
are
one?
going to inform. Uh, Go to your default constructor. Default constructor. This is not default, this is parameterized.
Okay.
Hmm. Now try to run the code. What they are saying to you. Okay, it will not work.
No. Okay. But ma'am, the
Hmm.
default one is going to give me the value of zero, right? I mean, it's going to initialize the value of zero.
No, what is the use of your default constructor? We have discussed that things.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes. Other than this, we have discussed that your default constructor can take a part to store the or you can say to allocate the memory for your objects. Right. This is also one task of your object. Default constructor. Right. So whenever you are creating one object, right, default constructor automatically invoke, as well as the second task, default constructor can take a part to store that objects into the memory, and third it is that you have seen.
Mm. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so any other student? Now I guess everyone have already completed the code. Yes. Is there any error in the code, other students? You can reply over here in the chat that ma'am, still we are doing the code. So I can give you the time to complete the code. Otherwise, we'll move towards the next question. Okay, no worry, Gloria. Yes, Arfat, but try to understand that that's why I have told you now that don't mix up the things or don't mix up the two concept: operator overloading, constructor overloading, and function overloading. Right. So what is function overloading? So function overloading. See, the overloading means the same thing. Yes, Shaker, you can share your screen. uh, See, the overloading concept for three of them is same. That function overloading, that function name is same, parameter difference. Operator overloading, that means operator is different and parameter is also different, right? And here in the constructor overloading, constructor name remains same, but parameter is changed. Okay, right? So same likewise, we have the concept of calling the things, right? Calling the overloaded function using object, calling, sorry, using object as well as the dot membership, object one dot your function name and parameter, right? Now in the overloaded operator, object one, operator and object two, like C1 plus C2. This is the calling procedure of operator overloading. And here in the constructor, same time create your object, that class name, object name, and your parameter. Yes, now understood. No need to use dot membership operator while you are calling the constructor overloading concept. Whereas in the operator also, don't use the dot membership operator to call your operator overloading concept. Okay, constructor name, constructor overloading concept, constructor. Shaker, you can share your screen.
Yes.
Just wait. Huh? What is this complex float A? Just close this. First, I will inform. Okay, what is the 19 number line? Image equals to A multiplied A. Yes, remove that line. Hmm. Okay, remove that 20, 21, and 22 number line. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Now, just wait. Huh? Return C. Now show complex. Okay. Now scroll down. Hmm. Okay. One more. Scroll down. Okay. C7 dot add CUMP. C3, C5 stored into C4. Yes. Here in the 56 number line. Okay. Yes. This is show complex is your function, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
function should be called with the operator, sorry, object and dot with your function name. C4 dot, yes, right over there, 56 number line. C4 dot dot. Okay, now remove that C4 from the bracket. Same line. Yes, remove that. Hmm. Why? Because there is in the 31 number line, there is no any, you can say the object or no any argument in that question. Right? Now try to run the code.
Yes.
Okay, float real, float image, as well as just wait.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Complex. Okay, go to your program one more time. Scroll up. Okay, just wait, just wait. Class complex, complex real img at float not ev, and we should be stored into the string. So C1 dot real plus C2 dot real. Let's run it into this white shoe complex. Okay, now scroll down. Hmm. R1, R2, I1, I2. Okay. Now still scroll down. R1, I1, R2, I2. Add complex tissue is mistake. What is the mistake? Yes. What is the mistake in show no object to access? Real and image. Uh, Still it will work because c4 dot show complex, that means whatever the value is stored into this c4 dot real and c4 dot image, same variables I'm referring over here. So you are asking me to write down c4 dot real plus j c4 dot image in the 33 number line, something like this.
Yes.
Okay, so do one thing, 31 number line, 31 number line. Yes. Uh, don't do something over there. 31 number line. Shekhar. Yes, in the
Yes, ma'am.
bracket. Huh, in the bracket. Last one. Yes. Now write down over there complex, your class name, space. Yes. D or whatever the things. Yes, B. It's okay. It's okay. Now inside in the 33 number line, B dot real 33 number line. Yes. Yes. B dot real and b dot img. Okay, now scroll down. Yes, pass c4, 56 number line. Yes, c4. Okay, now try to run the code.
Here is problem is at first is private.
I guess problem is in the your private section and public section. Just write over there private, one enter over there. Give one enter. Huh? Yes. Colon is missing. Hmm. Okay. Now try to run. But that should be.
Yes,
It
yes.
is also allowed to access the variables. Do one thing. Just mail this entire code to me
Okay, ma'am.
right now, right? I will check that code over here in my DUC.
Mhm.
Okay, yes, hash include conio.h. There is no any requirement. Okay,
It's
but
not, ma'am.
still
It's
there
not.
is no
It's
any
not.
issue, huh?
Yes, ma'am. I will remove
Okay,
it. It's not.
okay.
It's
Now
not
just
issue,
mail
ma'am.
the code to me. I will run this same code in my. Uh,
Okay, okay, ma'am.
okay, there is some problem inside this. Okay, no worry. Just
Uh,
mail me the code.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, right now, huh? That's why in this lab I can solve the error. Okay, so now I guess there is no any error in the code for the other students, right? So we'll move towards the second question for today's lab. That is next program or next experiment. Yeah, this is 19 number question. Okay, so I'm giving you the question over here, 19 number question. Okay, now we are in the portion of operator overloading concept. Okay, so first try to recall the concept as I have mentioned earlier. Okay, and then try to think on this question, that what we are going to perform in this question, or which kind of things we need to perform. Okay, I'll check it. Like void class name, this is operator plus and float. Okay, yes. So we have to implement our code something likewise. But what is the thing behind this? So according to this question, we have only one variable with us. That is, you can say, for example, operand one. Okay, and if we have only operand 1, but using that operand 1, we must have to add it with the operand 2, right? So this op1 value is different and this op2 value is different. So if we have only one integer a with us, right, and this a value is different and this a value is different, right? A1 plus A2, something like this, right? So you can say that 2 plus 3. So before using this A2, my actual A value is 2, and after using this plus, now next A value is 3, right? So we have to perform something like this, right? We have only one variable with us, and using that one variable, what we have to do, we need to add that values, subtract that values, multiply that values, and divide that values, right? So that two value I need to take it from the user, add that two values and stored into that a variable. Two values taken from the user, subtract it and stored into that one variable as I have mentioned. Okay, yes. So I will give you the small thing over here. Okay, first just try to design the skeleton of the program, right? Then we will move towards the solution with only how it can. No, Arfat, you have to store the result into one variable. You have to take that values in a1 plus a2, right? And you have to store it into this a. Okay, a equals to a1 minus a2. You have to take two values from the user, but result you want to store into the, you have to store into one variable, something like this. Okay, understood? You can do it, Arfat, because we have different concept with object. Object 1 dot a value is different, object 2 dot a value is different. Yes, now am I clear? I have given you the enough hint. Okay, just first design the skeleton of the program, that what we are going to perform over here, and afterwards we will move towards the solution. Okay, till that I am solving the error of Shekhar's question. So just wait, huh? Yes, Shekhar, can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there is no any error like float and all this stuff. Only one error. Three and six. Yes. Where is your result? Just over here. B dot
Yes.
real. Where is the function call? Over here. Wait a minute. Huh? One point zero. 2.0. 3 and 5 would be the answer. Yes, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess there is some issue related with the compiler. Okay, so your
Okay, ma'am.
program is
Okay,
correct.
ma'am. Okay.
Just change one spelling mistake
Where?
inside the 54 number line. You have written COMLEX.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, everything is perfect. Okay, now back to the 19 number question. Class name is float. Inside this, I have only one member variable, contains one float data member. Float member. Okay. Now, if we want to overload some functions, or if we want to implement the concept of overloading, what we have to write? First, the return type is class name, which should be in the public section. Float, operator keyword, and operator plus, right? So I am doing it for the plus variable. Okay, and float. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Okay, now from the integer name, first we have to take that two values from the user. Okay, so what we are doing over here, that uh, integer, sorry, not integer but float, a comma b. Okay, I'm taking the values in a and b. Okay, now see out, enter number one. C in, E. C out. Enter number in B. Okay. Now, what we have to do? We just need to implement one function, right? In that function, whatever the values we are writing inside this A and B, we have to pass it now. So that's why first we have to write one function inside this, that is void get data, which can take the values, and void put data, which can print the values. Okay, so till now there is no any confusion. Okay, and what is the task of this get data function? So whatever the values I am passing at the time of calling, I have to assign it into this number. Simple task. And this put data function will print the values. So see out nothing, nothing more than that. And okay. Now we have to take four operator overloading function, one for plus, second for subtraction, third for multiply, and fourth floor for division. Okay, so same like this, float operator minus, I am overloading the minus operator over here, and the return type is, make sure the class name is the return type. Now multiply, and last one, that is operator keyword and division. Okay, now class is completed over here. Now it's time to declare the object. Okay, without object I cannot call this function. Okay, so first of all we have to pass this A and B's value to my get data function one by one. Directly I cannot call. So what we have to do, first I am designing, or you can say creating the object f1 comma f2 comma f3. Okay, this is my object 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now using object f1 I'm calling the get data function. Okay, now in the bracket I'm passing the A. Okay, so number 1 is passed. Now I have to pass B. Okay, but into the same function I have to pass into the number variable only, right? Because I have only one variable inside my class. So using another object I can do this. So f2 dot get data B. And so first my A value is going to store into this number using object 1. Using object 2, second data is I am passing. Okay, now it's time to add that two values. Okay, so what we have to do, so you are aware with this that we have to write f1 plus f2, and I'm storing that result into f3. Okay, correct? Yes, and whatever the result into this f3 dot data. Okay, this, but before that I have to write something over here now, right? So what is the meaning of this? First of all, if I am writing something like this, f1 plus f2, is this operator function, this one, is binary operator overloading or unary operator overloading? Just write your answer over here. If I am writing something like this, right, uh, Right. So this one is my unary operator overloading or binary operator overloading. Yes, every student, whatever the view you can write, unary or binary. It should be binary or it may be binary. Okay. It is binary. Yes, good. This is binary. Binary operator overloading. How can you decide? First, decide. Will it design into the class? Yes. So this is my member function, operator overloading member function. Okay. Second thing. So if this is binary, because two operand. Yes, Shaker, correct. We have two operand. Yes, over here we have two operand. One is stored into F1, another is stored into F2. Correct. Okay. One more thing. No complex. Oh yes, this is float. Sorry. Okay. So that means what? Only one variable I can, only one object I can pass as a function argument. Okay, because this is member function. If I will write friend over here, FRI friend function. Okay, so that means what? That this friend function can take two arguments. So I can write float bj3. Okay, but here I am mentioning inside the class, so no need to implement the friend concept over here. Okay, now inside this, what we have to now, you need to give me the answer. Inside this function, what we have to write according to our example. I have mentioned everything. You just need to give me the solution or actual logic of this function. Just tell me. Make sure this will return something. Yes, Arfat, we have to write function body. But inside this function body, what I have to write? I cannot write function body. It will not work, right? So you have to give me the logic of this function. First, check the return type. Return type is float. That means class type.
Ma'am, you declare a variable, declare
One
on variable.
one variable or one object.
Yeah, is can object and
Hmm. So obj1. Now next, what we have to write?
is putting this.
Hmm. Yes, anyone other than Shekhar, if you want to give the answer. Yes. Now, what is the meaning of this? This
And
F1.
define.
Hmm. Yes, you can say.
Let me go ahead.
Okay. So first thing, I have to store it into this. Right. This is for sure. Now, here I have to write object, whatever the values, f1 dot number plus f2 dot number, and I have to store it into this obj1. Correct. So till now there is no any doubt. I have to do this kind of things. Now this object f1 dot number is known as a, f2 dot number is known as b. Okay. Now if I am calling this function using f1 plus f2, now what is the meaning of f1 plus f2? This is operator overloading calling concept. Okay, so what is the task of my F1? Now I am not giving you the answer. You have to give me the answer. What is the task of my F1? This is object 1, this is object 2, and in between this I have one operator overloading. Invokes the function. Yes, so task of my F1 is to invoke the function. So directly I can write a number, right? So this number can refer by F1 dot number, because that function is invoking my sorry, that object F1 is invoking my operator plus function, right? So this is the responsibility of my F1, left hand side object of my plus operator. Okay, now F2 is in the right hand side. So this F2 is passing as my function argument, right? So here in the object 2 I am referring which object? F2 as argument. Yes, correct. Now I can write obj2 dot number. Yes, so this is seen like this, correct? And I have to return obj1. Okay, so that obj1 value is stored into this my f3. So if I will call f3 dot put data, so whatever the result is coming from this object 1, I am referring over here. Yes, correct. Now for the better conveniency, we'll write something over here. Let's see out one small kind of message. Okay, now it's time for calling the next function, f1 minus f2. Okay, so first we have to write the code inside this. Right. Plot correct. Now this two function work is free. Okay, so that task you have to perform.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I think means the minus operator overloading is minus on minus object say B2.
Where?
Ma'am is let me see is 26 number line 26 number line.
26 number line. Yes, I have to use minus. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, so now you can try to implement the unary operator minus unary operator overloading, that is minus unary operator overloading. Okay, you can perform that question by yourself. Okay, this is for practice purpose, huh, Matthews? Uh, because that unary minus is not in the practical list. That's why I am telling you. This is only for the practice purpose. That at the time of examination, you don't have any confusion that what is overloading, how can we overload. That's all. Okay, any student facing any error in the code? Okay, do I need to complete the entire code, or you are aware with this code so that I will not write? Okay, good. Okay, other than this two student, any error in the code if you are facing? Okay, those who have completed this question, they just implement the unary minus operator overloading concept. Oh, unary minus operator. I am not telling you unary division operator. Because Matthews, this is too simple. Maths fundamental. That minus sign should be there with the number digit. Division sign should be not there in the number. Right? If unary, that means okay, Matthews, but star will give you star A, star B, star C likewise, na? So I am telling you to complete the question for unary minus. That means just wait. I will inform what I am trying to say. Unary division word I didn't heard any. No, 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 Matthews. It's not like that. Only for unary minus you have to implement because minus shine. I have done unary plus minus and star. Just wait. Um, uh, I am telling. Now minus 5 is unary minus. Okay. This is unary plus. That is plus 6 value I have. Okay. So you can write that minus 9 plus 5. Right. You cannot write like multiply 7 minus 9. This is not the way. Okay. But you can write something like this. Na? That is unary minus sign. This is unary minus, that it is always with the only one operand. And that operand value is in the minus or less than 0. Okay, less than 0, greater than 0. Something like that concept. That is unary minus. Yes, now am I clear with the concept? What I want to say you? Yeah, correct? Okay, good. Now you can implement. Okay, what about other students? Completed this question, this 19 number question or unit time. Okay, done. Good. Okay, you can take your time. Complete the question. Because I have given you the code for two operators only. There's star and division operator things you have to write. Huh? This is same like the previous one. Yes, any error in the code, any student? Entire code. What? One. No. No. Number multiply with dot number. We have seen problem as price. Okay, so there is some issue in the compiler maybe, because in my compiler when I'm run where I have run your code, at that time there is no any issue related with private and public, right? So you can implement it in you can say online compiler also, Shaker. Okay. Otherwise, if your code is same like me, you can assume that your code is correct, but you can run in the online compiler. Okay, good.
Yes. Yes, Arfat. Hello. Am I audible to you? Okay. Due to some network issue, or maybe I have just closed the other tab. Instead of that, I have closed this meet. That's why I have left it from the laptop. So I am trying to join, but it will take time. Okay. So now you can write your enrollment numbers for the attendance. Okay, so for this lab, you have to implement only unary miles. So one is still missing for the attendance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now it's okay.
Ma'am, we can leave.
Yes, you may leave. And if you have still any issue in the question or in the program, you can share it with me so we can solve this. Okay. So thank you, class. Things when you're teaching lab, I got the stuff. Okay. Okay. Because at that time, we may have so many students and we are getting too much related with the topic. That's why. Okay. I'm okay with that. Still, if you can't understand some topic in the class, you may ask in the lab session. We can repeat that
Ma'am,
things also.
ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am. Actually, I'm doing one project of the data communication networking in C++. So that
Hmm.
project, I have to use the graphics. So about I know the graphics coding on the C. I mean, till right now, I have to use the plus
Hmm.
over there. So the
Hmm.
problem with the compiler, like
Hmm.
I'm using right now Turbo C++, but for me, I never use Turbo C++ for any purpose, so it's getting hurt. Do you know any alternative compiler? Like I tried to run my code in the code blocks also, but code blocks is saying that graphics.h doesn't support over there.
Hmm.
Like, do you know any alternative of Turbo C++?
Alternative of Turbo C, I am implementing in Dev C++, right? One more we have, but I forgot that name.
Does
But
C++ support the graphics.h, man?
I guess it is a support.
Then I'll try it. That one.
Okay. Otherwise, you can use other also. That is, just wait in the next lab or in the next lecture. If I uh, recall that concept, I will let you know.
No, my deadline is 26, ma'am. If possible, tell me tomorrow's lecture, if possible.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You're welcome.